So look at it like this. A perfect example is Apple computers, Apple cell phones. They're one of the biggest companies in the world. Instead of making the cell phones here and having to be, instead of an iPhone being like $2,000, they make them in China at the Foxconn studios in Foxconn factories in China. They treat their employees so bad they have suicide nets. You can pull that up, Chrissy. Pull up suicide nets in China. So instead of paying their employees more, they build bigger suicide nets. So these corporations, they don't have the ability to feel empathy. They do not care about you and me. They just care about dollar and cents. And then you look at Halliburton, these military industrial complex companies. When you see a war in Afghanistan that, we get out of course, we're going to go get in another war in the Ukraine. We give them $80 billion, yet you look at our border every day, sex trafficking, drug trafficking is getting flooded in. I've had friends die of drug overdoses from fentanyl. It's a major problem, but they won't even address it. They won't address the homelessness. There's so many issues and problems we have here in America, yet they want to go give $80 billion and then some to go fight a war through a proxy, to fight a proxy war, by funding Ukrainians to fight Russia that none of us here could pick out on a map. I couldn't pick out Ukraine on a map before all this stuff happened. So, yeah, look at this.
I couldn't find a suicide net article, but I found eating rotten food in a rat-filled room article.
Oh my God.
I'm not surprised by this either. They just gave Apple our tax money.
This really makes me want to get a new iPhone.
Or 200 million.
Oh my
God.
I sent the Wikipedia in the chat, so it'll talk about how the suicide numbers, and then here I'll send you one about the nets, and then if you type in the nets, covered in here, and this is a better article. Hold on. So it's
for a spat of suicides linked to low pay at the Foxconn City Industrial Park in. How do you pronounce this, Xray girl?
Where is it?
How do you pronounce?
Shenzhen.
I was just trying to.
That one's easy. Okay.
Your translator here.
I'm like, how do you pronounce that? Taiwan.
Click the next article, Chrissy, and it has the pictures.
Okay. Oh, do we have pictures of people jumping? Because that might be too hot for work. Okay. And not safe for work. Foxconn buildings covered in suicide nets, though most workers are just sleepy and bored, checking their phones, I bet.
Bored.
Yeah.
I would hope that these factory workers at least get the first crack at the latest models.
No,
I don't think they can
have to
afford
have
them.
Androids. They only get Galaxies. They don't even get the iPhone.
Oh, that's a shame. That's the biggest crime of all. Damn.
Yeah.
These don't even look, strong enough.
Well, they build bigger and stronger after a few jumps. They have to reinforce them because they get weaker.
That's sad.
Wow.
So these corporations that have endless amounts of money, like Google, that's why they can create a narrative that we can't control. They can literally, whatever these politicians say to us is a lie because they're being told to say this by literal corporations that don't have the ability to feel empathy. So that's one of the biggest problems with our country. It's like, oh, well, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. Well, you're being bought and sold by NGOs, non-government agencies that control everything.
Yep.
What do you
That's
think?
why normal people have to run.
Right. And normal people don't have the money. And that's the thing. In the process of getting that money, it can corrupt you. Alex, what do you think that you are waking people up with your activism?
I would say so. I mean, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back because really and truly, my job isn't even to, well, I guess you could say wake people up. But I guess my point is I don't want people to agree with me. They say, oh, you're conservative. I don't even want you to agree with me. I want you to question the reality in which we're living. Just ask some questions because instead of just following the leader, instead of just being like a sheep, bah, bah. I mean, we can only say so much on YouTube, but there's stuff like sudden adult death syndrome. People are not asking about that.
Very sad.
Very sad. A lot of comedians are dying, 32-year-old guys, it doesn't even make sense. And it's just random. It's all just random. So I just encourage people to ask questions. Why is it random? Why is this happening? And you might find the answer, you might not, but there's no amount of evidence that will ever convince an idiot. So that's my point being is I can't convince everybody. I know that I'm going to have a very small window of people that actually do wake up, that are even wake upable, if that makes sense. So that's why I don't even try to wake everybody up. I try to use it and I try to show everything through a humorous lens, like a trolling lens, because everybody is under constant trauma-based mind control. You look at CNN, it's like 600,000 dead, 700,000 dead. It's always this negative thing to keep you in this mass formation, psychosis or hypnosis, whichever adjective you want to use. For me, I try to break people out of that by making fun of this stuff, or through a method called culture jamming, where I take the most absurd parts of our culture, like Leah Thomas, who I talk about all the time whenever I'm with you, because you're a diver, and Leah Thomas was a male swimmer on the University of Penn team for 3 years, then got to take some pills, and then got to compete against the women, is now nominated for NCAA Woman Athlete of the Year. Yet Leah Thomas still has
at least
a cock
put
and
woman
balls.
in quotes.
No. He's a better woman than all of you guys. So my point being is that there's a literal war on women. They say, oh, there's a war on white guys. There's just as big a war on women. You know, I would say it's an equal war. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to either make us all gay, trans, or just they want to confuse us. They definitely want to confuse young people. So it's just impossible this day and age to be your true self. They want you to think that yourself is inadequate and that you should be something else. When that's not the case. You guys, just because everybody has self-esteem issues, I look in the mirror, I wish I could change this, I wish I can do that. But instead of like telling an 8-year-old because they feel some sort of way because they're not happy with the way their body looks, that they need to be on gender reassignment surgery or they need to have a surgery that changes the rest of their life, we got to accept our issues and just learn to deal with them, learn to live with it, accept it.
Yep.
So
learn to deal with your temporary issue instead of signing up for a lifetime of regret.